I'm going to go ahead and start recording this session so we can jump on in. If you've not done so already, go ahead and type your name and your property on your full name and your property in the chat box so I know who came and who did not. I will email a recording of this call to all of you when we're done, both for those that couldn't make it and those that just can't get enough of these accounting calls that you want to listen to them when you're at home in bed, which I can't blame you. I have a very soothing voice. Welcome everyone. This is the second month in a row we've done the call, so kudos to us. Don't want to spend too much time on March Madness than I already have, but my pool is busted, like most of you probably are. If Kansas wins the tournament, I'm doing okay, but I think I can finish third or fourth in our company pool at best. So that doesn't quite do it for me. All right, so we're going to move on to the pledge point today. The pledge point is HRA properties are the best every day in every way. Hopefully that is not a unfamiliar pledge point to you. It's very broad, but I think it has a pretty good meaning given what our goals are as a company. It's not meant to be specific. We don't want you to get good at just one or two things as an individual as well as the property. We don't want your property to only excel in one or two things. That'd be very limiting. We want it to be very broad. We don't want you to limit your talents and your goals to just one area or thing. We want you to constantly be expanding, constantly be trying to better all those areas for the best possible version of yourself. Going along with that, we have this quote from Muhammad Ali. It says, "To be a great champion, you must believe you are the best. If you're not, pretend you are." I would love it if I could say confidently that every single one of our properties is the market leader in every single aspect in their market. Unfortunately, that's not the case. However, that's always our goal. And so even when you're not the best, you have to act like you're the best because that's the first step to getting there. Last month, we talked about the mentorship program that's happening in Horizon. If you've not already signed up for that, or if you want to know more about it, reach out to Lindsay. It's a great way of trying to better yourself to identify certain areas that you want to grow in and that you want to learn more about. So again, I encourage you to reach out to Lindsay about that opportunity. So now going on to housekeeping. This is kind of the broken record. I'm going to put the agenda up there since I didn't email it to you guys. Housekeeping is, again, emailing help desk. Slack is a fantastic tool. I'm trying to get on there more myself. But if you have a direct problem, nothing beats emailing help desk directly to make sure that it gets handled in a timely fashion. Now that we're at full strength with Stephanie back on board, we should be able to get to those pretty quickly. Make sure to include details. I can't tell you how many times I get a request for something and I don't know what account it's for. So please give all the relevant details. Last time I talked about the online training webinars for Entrada. Want to re-emphasize that. They are very, very valuable. So please take the time to look at those. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Happy to show you where it's at again. Same with the update section. On the 17th, Entrada came out with a big update, and some of you were caught off guard. There's always going to be a lot of things that change on those updates that we don't anticipate. If we look at that product update section that I pointed out last time, which I'll quickly show again, then hopefully we can anticipate a lot of these things. It's right under product updates. And let's see if my internet goes fast enough. Here's the past updates. You can see for the March 17th release, if you want to look at for all products or just my products. And then here's the upcoming. By doing this, you can see what's going to be happening. So hopefully none of this stuff catches you off guard. Inevitably, there's going to be something that surprises you, but it should help alleviate that. As a department, we're trying to get better at staying on top of that, but on the site, we would encourage you to do the same. So some of you today, moving on to that next section about the Horizon policy adjustments, we've already been in contact with several of you. As a department and company, we're trying to take a hard look at our processes and our policies to see how we can better serve our properties and our residents. Now, one of these issues, that top one, paperwork versus system accuracy, we talked about last month. That one's kind of a common sense thing. If the system's wrong, then the paperwork's going to be wrong. We don't want you to customize the paperwork because that means the system is still wrong. We're determining that a lot of you guys are, you find people are probably spending a decent chunk of your time fixing mistakes. And and we need to actually spend more of that time trying to avoid those mistakes in the first place. Now, that doesn't mean you guys aren't trying to. I don't mean to imply that. I know how easy that is, but it seems that there's a lot of reactive measures and not enough proactive. And so we're really trying to attack it with the proactive approach in mind. So basically, if the system's acting incorrectly, we need to fix it. We don't want to just fix the symptoms. We want to fix the root cause. So we had an example, and this has happened on several sites, where an account was actually double billed each month, and each month that double billing is just reversed instead of the scheduled charges actually being fixed. So we're treating the symptom and not the actual cause. And it ends up being more of your time, and if you missed it one month, then it's going to cause other problems. So some of these changes that we're going to discuss, and Stephanie's going to talk a little bit more about them in just a minute. There may or may not be long-term changes. We don't know. I mean, policies and horizon and processes are always changing to try to better suit the company and the needs of the company. But with that in mind, we have made some changes really to tighten it up, some of our problems we've identified, and to help change habits. Unfortunately, sometimes the only way to change habits is to actually change a process and to force you a certain direction. I know myself, I take the path of least resistance most of the time. That's why I don't have rippling muscles and an awesome six-pack. Whereas if I didn't have a choice, I know it would be possible. I would just have to be forced to do it. So we're kind of taking that approach. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Stephanie for a few minutes so she can tell you about this and kind of explain a little bit more detail. Do you need to show anything, Stephanie, or do you just want to talk?
No, I can just talk.
All right, then I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Hey everyone, it's good to be back. I'm sure you've noticed emails from me this month. Anyways, so we have changed a couple of different processes. The first thing that I'm going to touch on is late fee billing for Entrada folks. I sent an email out yesterday. Entrada does have a functionality to automatically post late fees depending on your late fee method. I have changed 10 out of the 15 properties to automatically bill late fees at the time you open. The day is late. Sorry, the time you open, the day rent is late. This will give you the chance to put in any checks or money orders that residents dropped off after hours the night before that were still on time. And then each day they will just automatically post for you at the time you guys open. And that, again, that gives you the chance to process any payments that were dropped off in the Dropbox or after hours. The second thing that I wanted to, or actually, sorry, with that first thing, I still need to hear back from Crossing Place, Suites, and Union. So if you guys can, please let me know what time you guys open on the day you guys, your rent is late. That would be great if I can get that set up. The second thing I was going to touch base on is waiving late fees. In the past, there's been a couple different ways of how people handle waiving late fees within a resident's account. We are going to still stick with using the code WV late fee when you waive late fees. And just so you know, waiving late fees is a courtesy to the resident. We should only be allowing them to be waived once, and when you do waive them, it's just the first day worth of late fees. So let's say you have a $50 late fee on the first day and $10 each additional day. You only are going to be waiving that first day of $50, and that's a Horizon policy that is going to be in place now. If they don't pay for 5 days, we will still waive the first day, but we will not waive multiple days. And then if they NSF later in the month, we're not going to waive their whole amount of late fees because they NSF'd. If they NSF, they're still considered late. And then going in with that NSF fees, we are charged for every single NSF fee, whether we like it or not. So we want to be very careful on when we waive these fees. Each in RealPage and Entrada, the systems will both tell you the reason as to why the payment got returned, whether it be the insufficient funds, they entered their account information incorrectly for ACH payments, whatever it may be, it will tell you. If the resident doesn't have funds available, then they're responsible for that NSF fee, and we shouldn't be waiving that because it is clearly their fault why their payment was NSF'd. If the information was entered incorrectly and they got an NSFE and you guys want to, offer a one-time courtesy waive for that NSFE, you can do so, but please use the code YES, Y-E-S, for that so we can track the NSFE waiver. With that, if you waive it because they entered their information incorrectly, you can use that as an opportunity to offer assistance in how to set their payment up, because they might not know what their routing number is and account number, and did they enter their credit card number or whatever the situation may be. You can use that as, a helping tool so they don't continue NSFing each month. The last and probably biggest policy change that we enacted just last night, and some of you guys have already noticed it, is the inability to reverse charges. This policy is not meant to create more work for anyone or anything like that, but it's more to just find the root of issues if there are them. Like Clint mentioned, we have a couple different properties and a couple different residents who had multiple rent charges set up and they were billing each month, but no one ever did the research to figure out why they were getting double charged rent each month. And so that's the main reason why we don't want to reverse charges. We want to be able to find out, is there an issue with RealPage or Entrata? Is there something set up incorrectly that we need to check? If there, truly is something that you guys don't know what's happening and you need something reversed, or you need help digging into it, shoot help desk an email, and myself or Clint will be glad to help you, look into it and see what's going on, figure out the root cause, involve RealPage or Entrata if necessary, and go forward. But if you guys have any questions about that, or if you guys come into a situation that you aren't sure how to correct it, just feel free to reach out to us. But that is all I had. Does anybody have any questions about those new policies?
I'll add until someone wants to interrupt me if they have a question, but we will send a summary about the late fee, because I know she talked about some details on there that you may not have caught. We'll try to send out an email summarizing kind of what those new adjustments are so that you're clear. And it's not to take away your ability to help serve our residents or to do above and beyond or formally yes we can type things. It's just to try to be consistent and not abuse that system that's in place just to mitigate delinquency. We were unfortunately seeing that a bit. Sorry, so just to interject. But yeah, does anyone have any questions for Stephanie or myself about those changes right now? We'll just stay in silence for the next 10 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. All right, well, if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to talk with you directly to address any concerns or give clarification if need be. So thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that your input there. Next thing, we're going to turn the time over to Christian, assuming he's still conscious on the call. And he's going to talk a little bit about the Horizon Wiki page if you guys have not heard about it. So, are you there, Christian?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can. We could talk about
excellent
things. All right. Well, I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay. I don't know how any of this works, but I will try my best.
That's okay. Just close out your shopping.
Okay. I think I'm almost there. Okay. Is it working?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, cool. All right. So Clint asked me to just talk about the wiki for a few minutes, and that's a few minutes is all it will take because there's not too much to go over. Anyway, so if you're not familiar with the wiki, we did start a new wiki recently. It was before the last Management Excellence Retreat. I know that Lauren announced it there. Anyway, so you can access it going to the portal.horizonra.com website, and it's right here where it says Horizon Wiki. So click that, and that will take you to the main page of the wiki. And so I set this up, but the one who is pretty much in charge of it, as far as I know, is Lindsay Palmer. So some of these things have been added by Aisha, some of these things have been added by Lindsay, but as of right now, I think most of the content is going to be listed here on this main page. So as you can see, there are a bunch of standard operating procedures. I don't know what most of these mean, but hopefully you know what they mean. Hopefully it means something to you looking at these. I know Drew wanted me to add this budgeting guide. I don't know if that's relevant for you right now or not, but there's that. Another thing I saw in here that is interesting that I think Lindsay added recently is this Who Do I Contact page. This actually seems pretty useful to me. It lists a number of scenarios and then who you need to ask for help or whatever in that scenario, which, yeah, I can understand where there's a lot of confusion. Sometimes it's hard to know under whose jurisdiction something falls. So this seems like a useful tool. But anyways, so there's the standard operating procedures. There's a few useful links. There is a search bar up here. There's always a chance that what you're looking for may not be linked to on this page, or maybe you just don't want to look at the main page. So you can do like fair housing, and that would come up with you know, title match or whatever, and you could go there and see what you're looking for. Anyway, so I think this is mostly the extent of the content on here right now. If there's anything that you feel needs to be on there, or if there's anything you have a question about relating to the content, Lindsay is probably going to be the best person to contact for that. And yeah, that's it.
Perfect.
Unless somebody has any questions.
Yeah, if there's any questions, go ahead and chime in. Otherwise, thank you, Christian. One thing that we are going to be adding, which Christian doesn't know about, so surprise, but we're going to add a little link on the bottom of the page where if you have any questions, suggestions, corrections or whatever, there'll be something you can do for a quick link so that it's really easy to notify us of those things. And it will go directly to Lindsay so that we can get it taken care of. So thank you, Christian. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So now I'm going to still back if you don't mind. Can't imagine that you do.
Go for it.
All right. So the last thing we want to talk about is a little bit more about Entrata, because that's everyone's favorite topic, right? We have 5 migrations scheduled for the next 3 months, with at least, which there should be a space there, 1 new property acquisition coming during that time, possibly more. And then we're also going to have 3 more migrations in September. So we are slowly moving everyone to that software. So hopefully if you're not on it already, you are learning enough about it that you'll be prepared when your site does move over. Some exciting movement finally with Rent Collect Global. The Entrata integration is actually now live. However, it's not going to be automated. So we're going to have our same policies with it where after 45 days we want you to send it to collections. However, you're going to have to trigger that. And we're actually going to do some trainings in about 2 or 3 weeks, walking you through everything, the new policies, procedures, best practices, etc. So everyone's clear. But some of you may have already noticed that change. On your dashboard under the financials tab, there's collections and there's accounts that are showing up there. They can be on here. It doesn't mean that they've been sent to collections yet. You actually have to send them to collections. So don't worry until that training happens. Don't get too upset about it. But that will be coming. So hopefully we are very, very close to having that set up for everyone, which you guys may not be as excited as I am. I've been working on this for a while, so I'm happy. One last note with that is that in RealPage, when you do a final collection payment, it kind of writes off the remaining balance so that the account's zeroed out. As of right now, there's not that functionality in Entrata. So if you get a final payment from collection agency, there's probably going to be an amount still showing owing on the account. That amount is going to stay showing after you enter the final payment. You'll just need to enter a note under the activity log stating, this is a final payment, the rest is uncollectible. Some of our sites are exploring adding wording to their contract saying if you go to collections, then the collection agency fee will be tacked on to your total amount due. That way we actually recover everything So we're going to make some headway on that. Kelly at Branbury has really been pushing it, and it's a great idea. So we just need to know in different regions where it's legal and to kind of explore that. But that's the biggest stuff with the Entrada. So right now, that's pretty much all we had for the call. If you guys do have any questions, we encourage you to please reach out and ask them. We are here to help you in any way we can, minus moving furniture and things of that nature, because frankly, that's too much work for me. But please let us know. We want to help you. We appreciate your time. Hope that you have a good rest of the day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.